everybody, how are you? Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. So my name is Nicole, and I'm happy to be teaching you past simple and past continuous today. Sounds good? Okay, let's get started. Here we go. Oh, let's see, before we start, I have a question from Rosa. She says, can I ask you what is the best way to learn phonetics? Because I hate it and I can't study. So let's see, the best way to learn phonetics. Let me think of a good place to start. So the first place I would start is I made a video, not the last video, but the one before, where I started to talk a little bit about phonetics. I started to talk about vowel sounds, and I can try to do a few in the future. Other than that, let me think about it, and let me see if I can find some resources, and maybe for my next live broadcast, I can find some links or something for you. Does that sound good? Okay, good question. I can't think of a website or anything off the top of my head though, but I'll find something for you. Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about past simple and past continuous. We're going to start with how to make past simple and how to make past continuous. After that, we're going to learn a few reasons why we use past simple and why we use past continuous. Sounds good? Okay, here we go. First, past simple. Okay, here is how to make past simple. I have 3 example sentences. I have 1 positive, 1 negative, and 1 question. Let's look at the positive. Positive sentence, he went to school. To make past simple positive, we use subject plus, here it says number 2. This means verb 2. When you memorize or say verbs, we usually remember 3 forms, right? Go, went, gone. Eat, ate, eaten. Drink, drank, drunk. Verb 2 is our past simple positive verb. So go, went, gone. Go is our verb 2. Does that make sense? Okay, so for past simple positive, we use verb 2. But we don't use verb 2 for negative or question. Let's look at an example. Let's look at negative. Negative sentence, he didn't go to school. We use subject, that's he, subject, plus didn't. Didn't or did not is okay. Didn't is our negative auxiliary. And then we say go, we don't say went. Go is our verb 1. So go, went, gone. Go is verb 1. It's the infinitive verb. So verb 1 is the same as infinitive verb. All right, okay so far? Let's look at question. So for questions, we also use verb 1. Here's our example. It says, did he go to school? So did is our question auxiliary here. He is our subject. And then we use our verb 1. Verb 1 is go. All right, so verb 2 is for positive. Verb 1 for negative and question. How are we so far? Good? All right. So let's pause for a moment and let's make some examples. So in the chat, can you type a positive, a negative, or a question in past simple? I'll write some while you are writing, okay? So I'll write a few examples here. Let's see. How about they liked the movie? Or for negative, they didn't like the movie. Or for question, did they like the movie? See, here we use verb 2, verb 1, verb 1. Oh, good. We're starting to see some sentence examples in the chat. Let's see. So we have, she went to the market. Oh, and someone asked me, what did I say? Sujit, I want you to make examples in the chat. So type some examples. Okay, so she went to the market. Very good. Another person wrote, I went out with my friends last night. Perfect. Or for a question, where did you go last night? And this is a good example of using a question word. So this is our form for making questions, but you can add a question word at the beginning. Right here. So right here, you can use a word like who, what, where, when, why, like that. You can put a question word before did in your question, if you want. So good. Let's do a few more. Okay, we have, so many now. We have, I didn't like the food last night. Good negative example. We have, I ate a dessert yesterday from Marco. Very good. Dessert, there we go. Yesterday. Let's see, we have a few more. We have one that says, where did she go? Very good. And they didn't eat dinner last night. Very nice. Did you go to vacation this summer? Did you get a new job? Good. And someone corrected to vacation to on vacation. And that is better. It's a better preposition. We usually say on vacation. So very nice. Let's see. All right, one more. I like this one. I played Pokemon Go this morning. I also play Pokemon Go sometimes. All right, very good. These are great examples. So I think you understand how to make past simple very, very well. But just one more time. For positive, we use subject plus verb 2. For negative, we use subject plus didn't plus verb 1. And for question, we can put a question word like who or what or where, but you don't have to. And then we put did plus subject plus verb 1. All right, so that's pretty easy, right? So let's look at one verb that's a little different. For past simple, all verbs use this style except for one. There's one verb that's different for past simple, and that's the be verb. The be verb is different for past simple. So let's look at the be verb. Here we go. So here, be verb, let me push it down to the next page so it's easier to see. There we go. So be verb, let's look at some examples. I have a positive, a negative, and a question. Let's look at the positive first. Let's see, I have a question. Jitendra asked, what is the past form of hate? So hate is a normal verb. It's not irregular. So we just use the ed ending. So we say hate, hated, hated. And that's the usual style for verb 2 and verb 3. It's normally just ed, like play, played, played, for example. Most verbs in English are like this. Some verbs are irregular, which means you have to memorize them. So a good example is the word go. So the word go, the past is went, and the number 3 verb, the past participle, is gone. Go, went, gone. So that's an example of an irregular verb. So far, so good? All right, fantastic. So let's look at the be verb. Okay, for the be verb, we have he was happy. This is a positive sentence. He was happy. So here we use our subject, and we use was or were. This is verb 2, so this is normal. Subject plus was or were plus a condition. So Ziad asked a very good question. Says, do we use past simple only with specific time? So we use past simple for specific time or an action that can't happen again. So we use past simple for a specific time or an action that can't happen again. I'll explain more in a little bit, but I'll give you a quick example now. Here's an example of a specific time. If I say, I ate breakfast yesterday. Yesterday is a specific time. So I know exactly when I ate breakfast. I ate breakfast yesterday. But I'll give you another example for can't happen again. Let's see. I think everybody knows Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson? The famous pop singer. So Michael Jackson danced very well. danced is past simple, I'm not talking about a specific time. Not he danced well in 1998. No, 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 no. He always danced well. But I use past simple because it can't happen again. Michael Jackson died. Michael Jackson is dead, so he can't dance again. No more. So for actions that can't happen again, we also use past simple. So that's a great question. Let's see. I have another question from Anthony. So Anthony says, can I use irregular verb to any tense sentence? So that's an interesting question. So an irregular verb, let's say, for example, drink. We have drink, drank, drunk. And let's look at some different tenses. We use different forms for different tenses. For example, we usually use verb to for past simple positive. We use verb 3 for tenses like, or aspects like perfect or passive. We use verb 3. But you're going to use one of these 3, maybe plus s or plus ing, to make different tenses. You will use one of those 3 forms. Maybe with s, maybe with ing, it's possible, but one of those 3 forms. Does that answer your question? I hope so. Oh, I think I have one more question. From Jitendra, I hated to drink milk. Is this sentence correct? This is correct. So let me write that sentence. I hated to drink milk. Okay, so to make it more specific, I would probably put a specific time, like when I was a child or something. But this part is perfect grammar. I hated to drink. So this is called a to infinitive. Our main verb, we use verb to. Hated is our main verb, we use verb to. But there's another special rule in English. If you have 2 normal verbs together in English, we have to change the second one. Again, if you have 2 normal verbs, not auxiliary verbs, normal verbs, 2 normal verbs in English together, we change the second one. We use to or we use ing. I'll give you a quick example. I hated to drink, or I hated drinking. The first verb here, we use normal past simple grammar. But the next verb, we use to or we use ing. Sometimes you have to use to, sometimes you have to use ing. And that would be a great topic for a future lesson. So maybe I'll make a lesson just for that in the future. Okay, so let's see. I think that's all of our questions. So Jitendra just asked about how to use it in past form. This sentence is past form. I hated to drink milk. This is past simple. So very good. Okay, how are we doing? Are we good? So past simple, we learned how to make past simple with positive, negative, and question. So let's look at the be verb. The be verb's a little bit different. Okay, here we go. So the be verb, I can say he was happy for positive. He wasn't happy for negative. Was he happy for question? This looks really different. We don't use did or didn't and verb 1. Usually, for negative or question, we use didn't and verb 1 or did and verb 1, but not for the be verb. The be verb for negatives and questions, we're going to use subject, wasn't or weren't, and then a condition. And for question, was or were, plus subject, plus a condition. If you don't know condition, conditions are things like adjectives, jobs, and places. Let me give you some examples. Okay. So adjectives, these are words like big, tall, happy, sad, smart. These are examples of adjectives. And we can use adjectives after the be verb, like this. He was happy. They were tall, for example. We can also use be verbs before places and jobs. Let's look at jobs first. We can say, she was a student, or we were doctors. And finally, let's look at places. So for example, we can say, the book was on the table, or my friend was in the hospital. So on the table is a prepositional phrase, but it's a prepositional phrase that describes a place. Or my friend was in the hospital. My friend was in the hospital. In the hospital, again, is a place. So adjectives, jobs, and places are examples of conditions. All right. Ooh, I think we have some questions. Let's take a look. But just one more time. A condition is something like an adjective, a job, or a place. Okay, so let's see. We have some questions. So could we use negation and interrogation together? This is a good question. Negation means negative. Interrogation means question. So can we make negative questions? Yes, yes you can. So for example, we can say, didn't he, and what was my example sentence before? Go to school. We can say, didn't he go to school? That's just fine. You can say this. This is a good sentence. It's negative and question together. And the same with the be verb. We can say, wasn't he happy? So negative and question together. That's okay. But we usually just use this if we are surprised or maybe doubtful. So if you're surprised about this information, you can say, what? Didn't he go to school? That's why we use negative and question together. Or if we are doubtful, where we don't believe the information. Wasn't he happy? Meaning, I disagree that you said that he was unhappy. I think maybe he was happy. Wasn't he happy? So if you are surprised or doubtful, yes, Jitendra, we can use, actually, who asked that question? Tierno asked about negation and interrogation. So very good question. We can use these together. And I think I had here, Steve Lynn. Condition here means blah, blah, blah. You said it last time. Basically, yeah. So good job, Steve, and good memory. So very nice. Okay, so I have an example sentence from Ziad. It says, he was clever, but now he became stupid. So he was clever. Very good. He was clever. We have subject, be verb, and adjective. Clever is an adjective. And then the second half of the sentence is now he became stupid. So became is similar to the be verb, so we can use that too before adjectives. All right. And then we have wasn't he there? Another great example of negative and question together. It's a great example. Good job. Okay. Oh, and Anthony asked about tag questions. So let me give you an example of a tag question. Okay, let's see. A tag question is a normal sentence, but at the end, we put kind of a question phrase. Here's an example. He was smart, wasn't he? Or they ate lunch, didn't they? And this is another way that we can use negatives and questions together. So another great example, Anthony. Very good job. All right, how are we doing? Let's take 1 minute and just review what we have learned so far. We've had many great questions, so let's review the information. We learned how to make past simple with most verbs and also with the be verb. We also learned the 3 forms of usual verbs and that we sometimes have irregular verbs. And then we learned why we use past simple. We use past simple for specific times in the past, like yesterday, last week, last night, or if something can't happen again. For example, Michael Jackson danced very well. So danced, he can't do that anymore. because Michael Jackson is dead. He can't dance anymore. Whew. And then we also learned about negative questions. Negative questions like, wasn't he there? Or didn't he go to school? Whew, that's a lot of information. So how do we feel? Do we feel good? I hope so. All right. Are you ready for past continuous? Okay, let's look at past continuous. Here we go. Past continuous. In some countries, they say past progressive. Past progressive is the same as past continuous. Okay, so past continuous positive says he was sleeping. Negative, he wasn't sleeping. Question, was he sleeping? All right, let's look at how to make. So for positive, we start with the subject. Our example is he. He is the subject. Next, we use was or were. So for I, he, she, and it, we use was. For you, we, and they, we use were. Okay? All right. So you have to choose one, was or were, and it has to match the subject. Okay. And then after that, we use verb 1 plus ing. So verb 1 plus ing. So verb 1, remember, like go, went, gone. Go is verb 1. Or sleep, slept, slept. Sleep is verb 1. So verb 1 plus ing. Sleep, sleeping, sleeping. Okay. For negatives, we use subject plus wasn't or weren't. You can separate it, say was not or were not, that's okay. Plus verb ing. So sleeping is verb ing. Finally, for questions, we can use was or were plus subject plus verb ing. So every time ing, ing, ing. Every time. Anytime you have continuous, present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, present perfect continuous, you need ing. You can think continuous means ing. Okay? Every time. Positive, negative, question, always ing. To make past continuous, we use the past be verb. So was or were. To make present continuous, use the present be verb, like am, is, are. To make future continuous, use the future be verb, like will be. So like that. So we always use ing for continuous. We just change the be verb. So past continuous, past be. Sounds good? All right. Oh, and some people are joining us. So welcome, Ilyas. All right. So let's practice a little bit. In the chat, can you type some past continuous sentences? I'll write an example while you are writing. Ooh, that's a good sentence. You are writing. And the negative, oh, but that's present continuous. Let's make it past. You were writing. And then the negative, you weren't writing. And then the question, were you writing? Can you make some example sentences? All right. So, while you're working on some example sentences, let's see. I think Anthony has a question. He says, does perfect progressive tense always telling time duration in a sentence? So, perfect continuous. Let me write an example of that first. So perfect progressive and perfect continuous are the same thing. So for example, she has been singing for 3 hours. Anthony, this is an example of present perfect continuous for duration. So we can also use, for example, present perfect continuous to talk about, to explain the present. I'll give you a quick example. Maybe she is tired because she has been running. And she has been running still has the idea of duration because the focus is on a long time. But the name of this grammar is a little different. We call this present perfect continuous. Usually we say explaining the present. Meaning we use present perfect continuous to explain why. Why is she tired? She's tired because she has been running, but she has been running for a long time. That's why she's tired. So short answer, yes. So perfect continuous always has this idea of duration. Okay, back to past simple and past continuous. Now I have lots of examples in my chat. So let's look at some of the examples. So we have from Ziad, I was reading a book and I was driving home. Very nice. And then from Sujit says, I was going for a movie. Good. I might say to, like to a movie. Usually with verb go, we use preposition to. But good job, good job. I was going to a movie. Let's see. I was working. Good, very nice. We have a question from Ziad. Were you watching a movie? Very nice. Let's see. We have from Ilyas, I was sleeping. And from Heavy, I like this. They were taunting me. Oh, very nice. Taunting is a good word. Kind of like teasing. Very nice. We have, so Ziad wrote, was she sleeping when you called her? Here we use past continuous and past simple in the same sentence. Perfect use. If you use past continuous and past simple in the same sentence, it has a special meaning. So I have some notes on this at the bottom. Let me scroll down. Okay, good. So great example from Ziad. Past continuous plus past simple is special grammar we use if you have a long action and a short or middle action. Some people say interrupting action, but if you don't know that word, that's okay. Just think short and middle, okay? Let's look at an example. So we have the sentence, I was walking and I saw a cat. I was walking is past continuous. I saw a cat is past simple. So this means was walking is a long action. Maybe 1 hour. Maybe 1 hour walking. Saw is a short or middle action. Maybe 1 second. Maybe 1 minute. So walking, ooh, a cat. So walking was the long action. Saw is the short or middle action. So if you use past continuous and past simple together, past continuous is a long action and past simple is a short or middle action. Very nice. I'm going to put a few more examples and then maybe we can study this part a little more. Oh, but I do have a question from Jitendra. Is there any rule for sequence? What to use first, past continuous or past simple? Good question. So it doesn't matter if you put past continuous first or if you put past simple first. The only time it's important is if you use special conjunctions. So let me give you a few examples first and I'll explain. Okay, but great question. So let's see, I'll use the same sentence. I was walking. Let's see, make a little space here. I was walking and I saw a cat. Good sentence. I saw a cat and I was walking. That's okay too. My conjunction in these sentences is and. If I use a different conjunction, it might change which one can go first. If I use the conjunction while must be before continuous, not simple. For this grammar, while must be before continuous, not simple. I'll give you an example. Okay, so I can say, I saw a cat while I was walking. Good sentence. Because while is before the continuous. I could also put this part first. I could say, while I was walking, I saw a cat. That's good too. But I can't say, I was walking while I saw a cat. This is a bad sentence. So let me, strike through. There we go. So I was walking while I saw a cat. You can't say that. That's bad English because after while, we need continuous, not simple. So to answer your question, Jitendra, it doesn't matter if you put past continuous or past simple first. But if you use the conjunction while, then it does matter. So just if you use the conjunction while, then it's important which one is first. Well, actually, you can still put either one first, but the conjunction must be before the continuous part. Okay? Wow, that's a great question. Whew, so many great questions. Okay, so let's see. Oh, so how when maybe asked, how about past continuous plus past continuous in the same sentence? Ooh, great question. So let's look at past continuous plus past continuous. Right here. Past continuous plus past continuous means that the actions happened at the same time. So past continuous plus past continuous means that actions happened at the same time. Let's look at an example. So here's our example. It says, she was talking and we were listening. She was talking and we were listening. This means talking and listening happened at the same time. Talking and listening happened at the same time. Of course, right? You can't listen 5 minutes later. Talking and listening have to be at the same time, right? So actually, this is a good opportunity to do a little practice. So let's think of some other actions that can happen at the same time. We have sleeping and dreaming. These two things can happen at the same time. So we can use past continuous plus past continuous. I'll make an example sentence. I can say, I was sleeping and I was dreaming. So these two actions happened at the same time. So can you think of any other actions that can happen at the same time in the past? Like this? I'll look in the chat for some examples from you, and I'll write some examples too. So two actions we can do at the same time Okay, how about driving and listening to music? These are two actions we can do at the same time. So I can say maybe they were driving and they were listening to music. Very good. Oh, I have some examples in the chat. Let's see, we have she was running and listening. You can run and listen at the same time, sure. And if it's the same subject, you don't have to repeat the subject in the be verb. You can just put your conjunction and your ing. So that's a great example. Let's look at another example. Let's see. We have singing and dancing. So I can write that here, singing and dancing. So we can put these together in a sentence. We can say, maybe I was singing and dancing. Or I was singing and I was dancing. You can repeat the subject and be verb, but if it's the same person, you don't have to. All right, very good. And let me do one more example. How about I'm watching a lecture and asking questions. Good. So if it's plural, this works really well. So watching a lecture, asking questions, same time. But if you make it singular, maybe we would use this grammar right here. Maybe we would say, I'm watching a lecture and I asked a question. Whoops. Oh no, this is present continuous. Oh no, let's change that to past. I was. And same here, I was. Everyone does that sometimes because present continuous is a very common grammar point. So just remember though, for past continuous, we have to put the past be verb, was or were. All right, so I was watching a lecture and asking questions. So watch. Ask. So these happened at the same time in the past. If you ask just one question though, that's very short. So this one, I was watching a lecture, watch. And asked a question. Just one question is very short. So watch, asked, watch. Understand? How do you feel? Do you feel good? Let's see how much time we have. Oh no, we have just a few minutes. But I want to teach you one more thing. Okay. So we learned past continuous plus past continuous means same time. Two actions, same time. If we have past continuous plus past simple, the past continuous action is long, the past simple is short. Okay? And, oh, I have a really good question. Let's see, from Ilyas. How can we use past perfect and past continuous in the same time? Let's see if I can think of an example sentence. So past perfect, maybe I had eaten breakfast Let's see. I had... That's a really good question. We don't normally see past continuous and past perfect together, but I'll tell you what we do see. We do see past simple or past continuous plus past perfect. Let's see. We do kind of use these together. Let me think of an example. For if you're talking about explaining the past. So maybe like he was tired because he had been running. I could say maybe he was laughing because he had been listening to jokes. Okay, wow, that's a tough question. I really had to think of a special situation where we could use past perfect and past continuous at the same time. So this one is past perfect continuous, and then this one is past continuous. So we can use this if you use past perfect to explain why this is true. So this happened first. If you use this grammar to explain why this is true, then you can use both of them together. Whew, that was a toughie. Good question. All right, so now just very, very fast, one last thing. We learned past continuous, past continuous. We learned past continuous, past simple. But what about past simple, past simple? So very, very quickly, past simple plus past simple means that actions happened at a different time. Our example, I woke up and I ate breakfast. This means first, I woke up. Second, I ate breakfast. These didn't happen at the same time. Can you imagine if they happened at the same time? It's just funny. Okay, if you see past simple plus past simple, it means different time. Okay, we learned a lot today. So let's see, are we we're almost out of time. Quick review. Past simple, different time. Past continuous, same time. Past continuous, here we go. Where did it? Okay, so past continuous, past simple means long action and short middle action. Whew, that's a lot of information today, and you guys asked some amazing questions. I'm so happy to see so many of you. So if you are interested in these lessons, I really hope that maybe you can join us maybe for some of the paid lessons in the future. Thank you again for taking time to learn English with me today. So have a wonderful day and goodbye.